Hello, I'm your host, Giselle Gamby, and this is the Intuitive Pull Podcast, where together we'll embrace the plans we did not make yet, unfold businesses and lives that are so much greater in wealth in all ways than any business or life plan could ever achieve. My wish is that you make intuition your most trusted advisor. So buckle up, get present, and let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello from the Glass House Mountains on the Sunshine Coast, where I find myself on retreat as a participant for once. Oh, it is so delicious to be held and to go deeper, and certainly to go into more plans that I didn't make. I hit into a place that I had no expectation ever to hit into. And it was one of those places that the divine was holding me and beckoning me to move into, to move towards. And where it led me was an even deeper connection to men and to this vision that I have around the wholehearted man. And without going into the personal reasons why, because they are sensitive, I can now see why my life has uniquely qualified me to support these men who believe that their value is dependent on how successful they are and live from a place of control of self and control of environment. So there are some words that I'm going to read to you that came out of my pen as I was writing yesterday. And there is a declaration I'm going to begin the podcast with that I feel with all my heart. And so here it is. I declare that I will play my part in creating men of our future. Men who are brave enough to turn inward, to remove their iron mask of control, to forgive what has been unforgivable. I declare that I will play my part to have men see that they are valuable regardless of their successes and failures, and from this place of self-love, live fully and wholeheartedly. That's my declaration, and may it be so. And so yesterday, when I was catalyzed to go deeper in my relationship with these men who have an iron mask of control, the catalyst, or one of the catalysts for me going deeper, was these words that arrived and wouldn't leave me alone: the man in the iron mask. I remember when I was growing up, there was a black and white movie, and I think it's based on a true story, and it's called The Man in the Iron Mask, and it's about an innocent man who was imprisoned and had this full-on iron mask that was locked, and he lived like this for most of his life. And those words, the man in the iron mask, just really hit me. And so, of course, in my process, I went deeper, and I really was quite emotional, I have to say. And these are the words that I wrote. The man in the iron mask. For what you can't forgive within yourself is why you have become the man in the iron mask. Whilst we stay in judgment, you throw away the key and you remain the man in the iron mask. Whilst we stay in anger and bewilderment of the choices you've made to not love yourself and others wholeheartedly, you remain the man in the iron mask. Whilst we misperceive your inability to love and be loved as a choice, not only that you've made, but that you've been devoted to, you remain the man in the iron mask. But if we take that key of compassion, then we can see why you've made self-control and control of your environment your God. We can see that because you have been incapable of forgiving your own humanity, that you have discarded the capacity to love fully and wholeheartedly. But I can see your humanity, and I can see mine. I can see that we've had the keys to the iron mask, and whilst we don't hold our humanity in compassion, we don't see who you truly are behind that mask. And when we don't see the iron mask, let alone the man behind it, we are all imprisoned. May this day be the day that, because I see this, that all are free to love and be loved fully and wholeheartedly. This I know for certain. Through the doorway of our humanity, we remember who we are. Through the doorway of our humanity, we call the new within for ourselves and each other. And this is my prayer. You will resonate with this, or you won't resonate with this. And if you do resonate with this, and you're a man, I ask you to be this with these words over and over and over again, and see where you have not been able to forgive. See where you've made self-control and control of your environment your God. And have compassion. Have compassion for yourself. And let these words really be an opportunity for you to see love where there has been fear and judgment and shame and a lack of forgiveness. And if you are a woman and you are listening to these words and they've resonated for you, we have a job to do. We have a job to do. The natural capacity of a woman in her, let's call it the divine feminine, is our infinite capacity to love unconditionally. Which is why I used the words we, or the word we. Whilst we stay in judgment, you throw away the key and you remain the man in the iron mask. Whilst we stay in anger and bewilderment of the choices you've made to not love yourself and others wholeheartedly, you remain the man in the iron mask. So we have a role to play. We have a role to play. Whilst we misperceive your inability to love and be loved as a choice, not only that you've made, but you've been devoted to, you remain the man in the iron mask. But if we take that key of compassion, then we can see why you've made self-control and control of your environment, your God. We can see that because you have been incapable of forgiving your own humanity, that you have discarded the capacity to love fully and wholeheartedly. So we have a role to play. We have a role to see through the eyes of compassion our men who have made control their God. And by seeing this through the eyes of compassion, we offer them the key. That being said, there are also men in their divine masculine who are here to help their fellow men to be free from this paradigm of control, to be free from the iron mask. And let me tell you, it is a privilege. It is a privilege to hold. So may this episode be a declaration that I've made not only for myself, but for those who know that it is their place also to play a part as we allow men to turn inward, to have compassion for themselves for what they've not been able to forgive, and to love themselves and each other wholeheartedly. I feel like saying amen, so I will. Thank you. If you enjoyed this episode or previous episodes, I would so appreciate you sharing the love and letting your family, friends, and colleagues know about this podcast, because the only way that it's going to get out there is if we use word of mouth, the good old word of mouth. So I have my hands in appreciation for you, for those who have already been sharing the love. And should this part of the podcast inspire you to share amongst your network, I really appreciate you. Also, I've been saying that I am also returning to my first love, which is writing. So if you would like to receive me in your inbox every week, there is a link in the show notes where you'll be able to subscribe, and I look forward to writing to you. Have an incredible week. Thank you.